So as people are joining in today, I guess this is an extension of what we were doing last year. We ran a series called Back to Basics, where we spoke about different therapies with our different healers. So today we are going to speak about something, a very different therapy called soul astrology. And for that, we have with us Rakshha. Welcome, Rakshha.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let me give a quick intro to Rakshha. Yeah, can you hear me, Rakshha?
Yes, I can.
Yes. Cool. So Rakshha is an experienced healer. She works with people on reiki, through crystal, through chakra healing, through automatic writing, and something very, very interesting known as soul astrology. And today we are going to be talking about soul astrology, as that's as a concept is something that we are very unfamiliar with, because we have all heard about the traditional astrology, which I think born in India, everybody comes across. But soul astrology is something which, at least for me, was a new concept when I spoke to Rakshha about it. So Rakshha, how about starting with, like, what is soul astrology and how is it different from traditional astrology?
Okay. So what I'll do is I will give you a little brief understanding of soul astrology and tell you how it's a bit different. How is it different from our classic astrology? And then I'll tell you how does soul astrology work. Now, how do we read it? Okay. All right. So I'll give you a brief little introduction. I will go through it very slowly so everybody understands it, because for lame person they're like, oh, what is soul astrology? Never heard of it. So I'll go very slow so you understand it. Okay. I'll tell you, just to give you a brief understanding, esoteric astrology is the study of inner journey, an individual's inner journey from their soul mission to their current physicality. And each one of us is unique. Yeah, each one of us is unique, and we all have a unique life purpose. We all have a different life purpose. Mine will be different from yours, and yours will be different from A and B and C, So our individual spiritual identity is all part of a divine pattern, okay? This plan and pattern was made by us. We sat with our master, our guides, our angels, and we planned this whole thing for ourselves, okay? So we planned all this before we chose to incarnate as a human being. Okay, as a soul, we planned all this.
So we go back to the source and not just this.
Yeah. So as souls, before we incarnated, we planned this whole divine pattern for ourselves. When I take a human birth, what will be my soul purpose and blah blah blah. So the masters sit with us and they guide us, like, what you want to, since you're making dal, put little salt, put little tomatoes, put this and put that. You know what I mean to say, like that, make that full dal, make it tasty, like that, So we chose to incarnate as a human being. We chose it. So this is us. This choice was made by us. It was not made by God. So we should not say, hey, Bhagwan, blah, 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 ye kya ho gaya? Because Bhagwan bolte, ye tu aapne banaya tha, aise meri koi galti nahi hai, So this was made by us, basically. Okay, this is our soul pattern, our divine plan made by us. Okay, so the difference between the esoteric astrology, that's we call it soul astrology, and the difference between soul astrology and exoteric is our classic astrology. Right. The difference is that ESO addresses the progress of the soul and soul's spiritual evolution. Okay. And EXO, the classic astrology, it focuses on the identity of an individual's everyday life. So the soul, ESO astrology is about the soul's journey, soul's purpose on a grand scale, whereas EXO looks at the ego self. So in a nutshell, EXO is about the physical horoscope and ESO is about the soul horoscope.
Right. So traditional astrology is more about this life and the transactions of what happens.
This life and this birth, yeah. And soul is about the whole thing, yeah.
Right. So across lifetimes and where we are coming from, where we are heading, where are we right now?
Yeah. And why
so tell me, having this knowledge, how does it help us in our current life?
See, I'll tell you. See, when you dive deeper to view everything from the soul's point of view with conscious awareness. Now, when you have conscious awareness, then the problems that we have, they get solved from a deeper root level.
Okay.
Everything gets solved from the root level. Like, okay, so I know what I am, and as divine beings, we all operate from love. See, as a soul, when we made this whole divine plan, the divine pattern, what were we? We were only love. As souls, we are all about love. There is no duality. There is no anger, greed, jealousy, lust. We are only operating from love. There is no duality. We are all one. We are operating from oneness. So when we look at our soul chart and we operate from that awareness, that conscious awareness that we are all one, we start seeing our problems. It's like these are all very minute problems. But I'm above all these things. I'm above all this physical thing. But I'm a soul. I'm not a physical being. So these things become like you start dealing it from a very soul level, from a very conscious level, not from the physical level.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Let's say for someone who's never had any experience with any spirituality or healing, suddenly if they come across soul astrology, how does it guide them? Because most of us are just the physical life.
Yeah. See what happens when we see when we have any issues in our life and we cannot solve it. We try to look for astrologers or guidance from here and there. And what happens is they'll always tell you, "Aapka shani kharab hai ya mangal bhari hai, ye karo or wo karo." So when we start doing all those things, but we are doing it from fear.
Right.
We are doing all those things from fear. We are not doing it from love. When we start seeing ourselves as love, and we start seeing the other, we empathize with the other person. We start understanding, like, why is this person behaving this way? Why has this thing happened to me this way? And we don't react. We act upon ourselves. We start understanding ourselves, why this and why that, and we, instead of judging others, we start doing self-study. We start working on ourselves, and we start operating. We don't look at anything in a very negative way. We start seeing things in a positive way, You deal with the situation in a calmer way, in a positive way, and then you start to, instead of fighting with somebody, you keep quiet, and say, okay, fine, like, let that person do whatever he wants. I will not react. So what happens is, once you stop reacting, that person stops being what he's trying to be. And he starts wondering, okay, she's not reacting, and here I am just going on ba 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 ba. And then finally he gives up. Sometimes he or she comes back to you. Okay, fine. Can we see this in this way? Can we sit down and compromise and come to a conclusion? So what happens is, because you have not reacted, you have understood where you're coming from and where that person is coming from. You stop reacting. Things start,
right.
You not only help yourself, but you also help other person.
Right. So you start seeing the big picture, that where am I coming from? So this doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And once you have done your soul chart, you understand where you stand, why this is happening, why that's. See, you can't change the other person. You can only change yourself. So when you change your pattern, when you align yourself, the other person starts aligning himself too, or herself. When they see that you are not reacting, how much can one person fight and argue and have a dispute if you are not doing it? So there will be no more argument. There will be no dispute, because वो तो कुछ बोल ही नहीं रही है, तो अभी, then maybe I should try a different way. Maybe I should also cool down. She's so calm and she's so cool. Maybe I should also become a little cool, and maybe, then the approach becomes very different. When you understand, when you come from a very different zone. See, if I'm shouting and you're shouting, we both are shouting, it will not get solved. You're creating more and more and more and more issues, and you become enemies, and then You die, he dies, and the issue's not solved. You come back again in a different, because you have to finish the pattern, right? So you come back in a different pattern. That neighbor with whom you are getting so angry and you didn't solve the problem, that neighbor will come as your son or daughter, and then you can't avoid the situation. It'll come in a different way, and because now that person comes to you as a daughter or a son or a husband, you have to deal with the situation. And because they become so close, the relationship becomes so close, you cannot deal with it in anger. So you have to finally deal with it in love. So had I done that before, this wouldn't have happened. You know, you get it? It's like that. So what happens is that each one of us, is vibrating on a different frequency, different energy, and although there is throughout all of the universe one energy, but this one energy is subdivided into innumerable human beings and animals, cells and organs, plants and stones, solar system, galaxies, atoms, and so on, right? This one energy is, so the subtotal of, so what happens is each of these entities is composed of a different energy, different frequency, and these different energies and different frequencies are termed as rays. Rays, R-A-Y-S. Okay?
This is
so
what
the subtotal of
personalities. This is what you mentioned about personalities.
Yeah. So the subtotal of all rays creates the energy pattern of that being. So your rays will be different from my rays,
Right.
So because we all are vibrating on a different frequency. So our different frequencies are termed as rays.
And we each have multiple rays.
Yes. So what happens is that, I'll explain to you. See, we are all governed by 6 rays throughout our life.
Okay.
And these 6 rays are governed by 7 rays of essence. So each ray has 7 different rays of essence. We all have 6 rays. We all are governed by 6 rays. And each 6 ray is governed by 7 rays. 7 different qualities. So I might be ray 1 and you might be ray 1 too. But our the different rays of essence, I might be ray 1, but my essence might be ray 5. You might be ray 1, but your essence might be ray 2.
Right.
Okay? Right. So I'm a soul ray, you are a soul ray, but my frequency is different from your frequency. I come with a different purpose and you have come with a different purpose.
Right. So personalities may be similar, but our soul purpose is different. So our essence is different.
Everything will be different, yeah. So we have 6 rays throughout our life. And all these 6 rays are governed by 7 rays of essence. So every ray has 7 different rays of energies. And depending upon your time of birth, you will know which ray of energy you have chosen to incarnate. And in this life, and which ray of energy you are vibrating on. So this is where your time of birth comes in play.
Okay.
So this is where your time of birth comes to play, and then we all have these 6 rays, and then from those 6 rays, you come to know which ray are you falling on, depending upon your time of birth.
Right.
Because each one of us is unique, and every one of us is vibrating on a different pattern of rays, depending upon the life purpose we have been incarnated with.
So can you give us some examples of some essence rays and some rays which we take on as personalities?
I'll explain to you everything. I'll explain to you everything in brief. Okay, because this is such a vast study. So when we do this workshop, that is when we go through each and every ray on a deeper level. And what happens is, you first start doing your own self-study. When I do this workshop, after the first day, they all are very excited. We want to know our monad ray. We want to know our monad ray. Like, what's my higher purpose? So it's not then. There's a chart. There's a timetable. So according to the timetable, the chart, you have your. See over here, you need to know your time of birth. Okay. For a soul chart, you don't need to know your age. You don't need to know year of birth, because soul is ageless. Only we age. The soul doesn't age. So, so in soul astrology, you don't need to give anybody a year of birth, okay? You just give them your time of birth, and you go through the calendar and you find out that uh, that date fell on which day. So I was born on February 11 on a Friday. So I will go and check that time of birth of mine falling on a Friday.
Right.
So then I'll come to know, falling on a Friday, that time of birth, what is my monad.
Okay.
So then I will check my monad ray and check what are the positive aspects of that monad ray and what are the negative aspects of that monad ray. And I'll do a self-study to know what am I operating from. My ray says that I must have a strong willpower, and I must have a dominating nature, and I should be holding high in esteem. Am I doing all that? So I checked. No, I don't have a strong willpower. I come from fear. I have such low self-esteem. I operate from jealousy, and I dominate, but in a very negative way, not in a positive way. I don't empower people. I pull down people with my dominancy. I'm not empowering people. I'm putting them down. I'm dominant, but in a very negative way. So then I will read the thing, because as a soul, I'm supposed to be all love. I'm not supposed to have any negative trace in me. So when I look at my chart and I find out, but I'm operating from all negativity. I'm not doing anything positive of this trait I'm supposed to be doing. I mean, that is why my life is going in such a way. I'm having issues and having problems and so on and so on and so forth. So what happens is I start aligning myself. I start bringing myself to having a good, strong willpower, not lack of self-esteem, hold myself high, respect myself. So I start aligning myself. So with every ray, as I start aligning myself, seeing myself in a positive way, I align myself, and my issues, everything gets solved. You understand? But I'm operating for a negative way. Even if you tell me, "Oh, hi, how are you?" I'm like, "What is wrong with you? Why do you need to know how I am? Is something wrong with me or what?" But now I will see the different way. "Hi, how are you?" "Oh, I'm very fine, thank you. How are you? How's family?" I start seeing myself. I start aligning myself to what I'm supposed to be, to what I came here for. And as I align myself, my issues, everything start resolving.
Right. So basically, it also tells us about our potential, that we have the potential for a strong power.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, because see, the 6 rays are like a monad ray, a soul ray, personality ray, astral ray, mental ray, and physical ray. Now, if you want to look at it in a classic astrology way, I did a self-study on this. So because see, when you make your soul chart, and then when you look at your physical classical astrology chart, it is so similar. It blends. But that is like on a physical level. This is much more on a deeper spiritual soul level, But if you make your chart, you'll come to know, exactly these are my karmic lessons, and I'm messing it up. So either mera shani kharab hai, shani kharab kyun hai? Because I'm not going to my physical ray properly. I'm going to my physical in a negative way. So as I align myself, the issues get solved too. So the bolega ki Hanuman ka puja karo, ye karo, wo karo. But I'm doing that out of fear. I'm doing it externally, but I'm not fixing myself inside. I'm not fixing my motor inside, Say bahar se chamka rahi, So when you start fixing it properly from inside, and a soul on a deeper level, on the root level, issues get solved because I aligned myself. No one's going to change any issues for you. You have to work on yourself, but you don't know. So you realize that I am wrong. My physical race says this, but I'm not doing this. So when you look at the 6 rays, monad, soul, personality, astral, mental, and physical, I did a study and I found out that, where is it? The soul ray is like moon, our moon, Chandrama, and the personality ray is our ascendant.
Okay.
And astral ray is our Rahu Ketu. And mental ray is Mercury, because mental is about thought process. So mental ray is Mercury, Buddha, and physical ray is about karmic lessons. So physical ray must be Shani.
Right.
So when you start fixing your Shani, Buddha, Rahu, Ketu, and everything, you start aligning yourself to your higher self, you know. So, but this happens on a very deeper level, you know, not on a very physical level. So you are not only fixing your physical self, you're fixing your soul, you know, that you come here for a purpose, a soul purpose, that gets fixed. So you start
Right.
seeing everything with deeper understanding, you know, and you start operating from love, because we are divine beings having a physical existence. We are divine. We are all full of love, you know. Because as a soul, we didn't have these emotions. We brought these emotions only after we incarnated, when, as a kid also, as a baby also, what were we? It was all love. Koi aaya, godi uthaya, sab love, 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 love. Only as we started growing, we started having this duality. Ye, I am me, you are you. That is when the issue started. But we are love. We are divine beings having a physical existence.
Right.
And we have to go back to the source.
So are there any healings or remedies in soul astrology as they are there in traditional?
No, because you work on yourself. You start working by yourself. You start working on yourself, so that you don't need remedies. Yeah, you can do a meditation. See, as you start getting going to a positive mode, you will start bringing healing in your life. You will start bringing meditation in your life. So it'll come to you naturally. When you start seeing things positively, you'll run for those positive things. Kahan hai, like, let me do this. Let me. I'm full of anxiety, and I'm supposed to be calm. So to be calm, I must meditate a bit. Maybe I must do some reiki. Maybe I should learn something. You know. So it comes to you naturally once you start aligning yourself to positivity. Because those reiki, they're all divine energies. You know. So you slowly but slowly start getting attracted to all those divine things.
Right.
So
Right.
when we
No, that,
say this, yeah. So
so
when
tell
we
me
say
what
this
is.
way,
Sorry.
yeah,
So I said, if let's say I come to you as a client to do my soul reading chart, what will that
yeah,
involve?
it will involve, you have to give me your time of birth,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and you let me know with the Indian Standard Time or EST or whatever, and then
Right.
I will make your soul chart. Okay, I will make your whole soul chart, like, you know, the 6 rays, and then the 6 rays have the 7 rays of essence, which ray of essence you fall on, and then I'll have a meeting with you, and I'll tell you, like, no, your this is your soul purpose, this is your blah blah blah. This is then you'll tell me, like, you know, where you are going wrong or going right, or am I operating from a soul level in a positive way, or I'm operating on a negative way. You basically, a chart is made. It'll, when you go to the 7 rays of
Mm-hmm.
essence, it'll show up what is your karmic lesson, what's your soul purpose. Those rays 1 to 7 will, as we know your date of birth. So when we do these rays, we come to know uh, what is soul purpose. So then we'll ask you. So say, but I'm not doing this. I'm doing the negative way. I'm not, no. But this is your soul purpose. Are you doing it? Oh, this is your karmic lesson. But when you do this karmic lesson, you also come. God also, when you bring these what you may call, when you bring these the soul, when you bring these karmic lessons to work upon in your physical life, God also gives you a lot of creativity, art, music. So we'll come to, so when we do a chart, we'll come to know that, no, you're supposed to be creative. Are you creative? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? No, I'm not doing this. No, yeah, I enjoy art, but I never put myself into it, you know. So
Right.
sometimes the chart might tell you, like, no, that you might be having, you might go to financial difficulties, but I'm also giving you art, music, and so on forth. So as you are going through, as you are having difficulties over there, you can enhance your creative abilities and rise up through there, you know. So it gives you all those things, like, no, you have a problem and how to come out of it.
Hmm. Right. Right. So it
Everything
can.
is there. When once you do a soul, yeah.
Right. Right. So it
So when
guides
your
you.
soul chart, you
Like
come
how
to know.
what do you do in your life? It guides you on a bigger purpose. Like
It
what is
guides
the
you. Yeah,
life?
yeah, yeah. You basically first have a self study, like you evaluate yourself. Yeah. This is my soul purpose. Yeah, but I'm going there. I'm not finding any solutions. I'm having difficulties all around. So then they'll tell you, but you know your soul race says, your mental race says that you should enhance your art. Do you know art? Yeah. Or if you don't know, then start learning, because you have come with that trait of doing art or dance or music. So you start picking those things up.
Right. Very interesting. Very interesting. Because all of us are
It, it
very kind
gives
of
you,
tied up with day-to-day transactions. We never think of our
no,
lives in.
but see what happens with soul chart, it doesn't put you in that fear. You know, when
Right.
we do a classic astrology, and we are going through some problem or some issues, we are not fixing ourselves. We are trying to, listen to the outside force and bringing more fear in my life. Today I go to an astrologer. I mean, if he tells me कि आपका शनि खराब है, 7 साल तक ऐसा चलेगा, so what happens? I've gone more into negativity. So
Right.
7 years, that is not only skilling me. I'm not thinking to go in a positive way. My mind doesn't work. My mind doesn't go
Right.
in that way. But over here it tells you, like, these are your karmic lessons, but you enhance this way and that way. You can get into creativity, you can go into art, you can go into dance. So what happens? Maybe those 7 years and when you start becoming very positive, you might start doing some charity or blah blah blah. You go into meditation, whatever. You go into art, crafts. Your mind diverts. What happens when your mind diverts? You're no longer sitting with negativity. You're not sitting with fear. You become positive. As you become positive and start working positively, those 7 years can change to 7 months,
Right. Right.
because
Or
you're
the
not
seven,
wasting your time on them. Yeah.
or the 7 years can help you prepare for the rest of your life.
Yeah, but the astrologer might be telling you from the astrology point of view, like Shani means 7 years, but in the soul chart, there is no such thing as time. Soul
Hmm.
doesn't look at time, and once the divine, once your higher self sees how you're aligning yourself, it starts working. Doesn't wait for time. It doesn't.
Right.
And in those 7 years, supposing even if it's for 7 years, something good comes out of your art, your dance, your creativity, fine. You say, okay, close the business. Now I'm going to start dancing class. Now I start giving music lessons, and you start making money through creativity. It gives you those options. The soul chart tells you all these things. Well, the Maharaj will tell you, 7 साल है, हर शनिवार को हनुमान जी के मंदिर में जाओ, तेल चढ़ाओ, your money, half the money is going and putting oil over there. And sometimes you're so much in fear, it's raining, I don't want to go, but the fear, oh my God, I didn't go, now something wrong is going to happen. But over here, what
Right.
happens is you divert yourself to art, creativity, music, dance, meditation, whatever that is in your race, that you're supposed to do. And then fine, that is now working. Close that business shop. Now I'll do this. So because you're doing a soul chart, you come to know. Otherwise, what you
Right.
do, just sit down, बैठे रहो, 7 साल बैठे रहो. Like, no, the soul chart brings you out of fear, takes you out of fear, because the soul doesn't know fear. Soul only knows love. Because we have to understand the divine being. When we made this plan for ourselves, we made it, right? So we knew we can handle it, right?
Right.
We are not operating from fear. When fear comes in our life, everything changes. We don't think clearly. So the soul
Yes.
ray is not working properly, because I'm not doing the physical ray properly. My soul is not working properly. My mental is not balanced. My astral Rahu Ketu astral is not balanced. My mental is not balanced. So everything's unbalanced. So once I start fixing one by one, from physical you go to astral to mental to personality to soul. As I start aligning myself, I align myself and bring myself to my divine self.
Right. Right. So when you do a reading,
But you work on a very,
ray. So when you do a reading, you tell people about each of their rays.
yes, everything. The other 7 powers, 7 rays are like, it can be, You can be willpower, purpose. It can be a love, wisdom. It can be active intelligence. You can fall into any of these 7 categories. You know, it can be harmony through conflict. It can be concrete science. It can be devotion and idealism. So it depends upon which category you're falling on, which ray of purpose you brought with. And the workshop gives you the detailed explanation of what each and every ray means, and whether you are operating on that ray, if you're operating on the positive side or the negative side. So if I'm operating myself on the negative side, so my sole purpose was like this: come on, I need to align myself, to bring myself to align myself to what I really am, to work the soul purpose correctly.
Right. So tell me, in this workshop, let's say if someone attends your workshop and learns how to create charts and how to read soul charts, so can they practice on other people after your workshop?
Yes, of course. That is the whole thing. You put in the workshop itself, the second day itself, the students start doing each other's charts, so that they can.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do your chart. I don't know you at all, so I'll do your chart, and you'll do my chart. And according to my chart, you start telling me, like, this is your soul purpose. According to this chart, you should be doing this. You are this. You are this. You are this. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. No, I'm not doing this. So you read. So then I will tell you how accurate you have read my chart, or where you have gone wrong. So you start doing practice. So in the workshop itself, we start making people do first. They do their chart. They find their monad ray, and they bade khush hoke aate ki I am this, and yeah, fine, you are this, but are you operating from a positive way or from the ego self, you know, from a soul self or ego self? So it becomes very interesting. So in the class itself, we start doing each other's charts.
Right.
So then the teacher can explain, the person can tell them, like, how right they are, how accurate they are, and where they have not done it properly, and how they should read it properly. So we start doing it in the classroom.
Nice.
And after that, they can start doing for others also. For the family members, first attack the family members.
They are always there as guinea pigs when you learn something new.
Yeah. So it's interesting because we are souls. So it gives us a very deeper understanding of who we really are and what for we have come over here, and why we're so stuck with all these mundane things, and why we out of fear, and when are we going to start operating from love?
Yeah. That's interesting. So for anybody who's interested in learning soul astrology, we are planning it's a 3-day, it's spread over 3 days, the course. We are planning a course by end of March. So in case anybody is interested or know of anybody who's interested, do ping us because with the dates we are a little flexible right now. So let's say if quite a few of you are interested, we could arrange the dates around your convenience. So anybody has any questions for Rakshha around soul astrology? So please feel free to put it in the comment and he'll be more than happy to answer. So in the meantime, any interesting case that you can tell us about, Rakshha, that you have come through during the soul astrology reading?
You know, I had a friend, and it was his birthday, and he goes that, so I told him, what do you want for your birthday? So I told him, hey, you know, I've done soul astrology, so can I do a chart for you? And I won't charge you. It'll be a birthday gift. Can I do an astrology chart, you know? And he's a friend. I don't know him too well, but he's a good friend. And he goes, yeah, fine, you can do my chart. And then I start studying very deeply. And as you start doing this soul chart, what happens is you also become very intuitive.
Right.
You open up, you know, you start getting messages, and you start saying, no, this is right, and no, that's not right. Maybe I should focus on this and not focus on that. You know, you start becoming very intuitive. It just happens. It comes naturally. You know, when you start aligning yourself to your soul level, you actually become you start talking. You know, the masters, the guides, they start talking to you. Funny say, chalo, aage line mein, you know, aage, ghar aage, wapas, ghar aage, you know. So then I started doing. So I did his chart, and I gave it to him. So for 1 week, I got no response, like no comment, no hi, no bye, nothing. So I thought maybe I've done something wrong. Because I'm learning also, right? I said, "Pata nahi, dosti bhi gayi meri. Kya karu?" Like, you know. So finally, like, I called, like, no, what happened? Why disappeared? He goes, I'm so speechless because you have studied me to the T. And how did you know this? And how did you know that? I said, I did not know it. The chart did it. You give me a time of birth, and according to the time of birth, I can tell you, like, you are operating from the ray 1 and ray 5, and you're operating from ego, and try to use the ego in a positive way, not a negative way, because at the monads are like divine spark. The monad ray is only, you can only work. See, when you go through these 6 rays, you'll come to know, like, which rays can also be negative and which rays can only be positive.
Right. Right.
They cannot be negative. No, they only work on a positive way. So, like a monad ray is a divine ray, the divine spark. The monad ray, the first ray, the monad ray, it never changes. No matter how many lifetimes you take, the monad ray never changes.
Okay.
So the monad ray will always fall in the category of ray 1 or ray 2 or ray 3. It will never go to 4, 5, 6, 7. And the first 3 rays are all about positive, your spiritual growth.
Mm.
So then I told you, like, no, you're supposed to be, like, you're supposed to be egoistic, but in a very positive way, not in a negative way. But you know what? I noticed that, like, I think from a chart, when I see karmic lessons and blah 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 blah, I say, but I think you're not using it in a very positive way. You're like, no, you're not an empath. You are quite destructive. And he was like, oh my God. Because I'm not saying it, when I see the whole soul chart from the karmic lessons and this, and I'm going up, I'm sure he hasn't been using his ray in a positive way. He's using his ray in a negative way. So I told him, you first start align yourself to your monad. Monad has to be positive. It cannot be negative. Those are the divine, the first 3 are very divine rays. 4, 5, 6, 7, like, no, you can say Rahu, Ketus and this and that, but the sun, monad is like the sun. And sun never changes. All the planets revolve around the sun. Sun never changes. Sun is unchanging. That's it. You have to blah 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 blah. He goes, yeah, you read my whole horoscope to the T, and I did not know how to face you. That's it. I forgot everything. I just read your soul chart, But what happens is it helps the person to change for better. So you're actually helping somebody, I think everybody should know their soul chart, because we are souls and we have a life purpose. Are we going through a life purpose properly, nicely, positively, happily? Life is a merry-go-round, I mean, we all have issues, but we have to come out of these small issues that align with our divine self, because that is all what we are, So yeah, it can read a lot.
So 2 people have asked, what if they don't have their birth time?
If they don't have the birth time, if they know their birth time, what you may call close by, because it's not 8 p.m., if it's 8:05 or 8:10 or till 8, half an hour, 1 hour is okay, but they should know the day.
Okay.
Yeah. So once they know the day, from the birthday, they'll know the day, right?
Right.
Suppose it's 11 February 1966. So you go in the calendar on 11 February 1966 was a Monday. So I look at that time, and I look for the time falling on a Monday. What ray falls on a Monday?
Right. So approximate time,
Yeah. So also when you do this, the classic astrology or soul astrology, I mean the planets don't change every 1 second. It takes time, So half an hour, 1 hour grace you can give. Half an hour grace you can give. 1 hour also I'm not so sure. I have not done for anybody with 1 hour not knowing, but half an hour grace is fine. You tell me 8:30 hoga, 8:15 hoga, like but not AM and PM, not such a big difference.
Right. Yeah. So I guess that answers, because I think Hura had asked and Kaya Sharthi had asked.
Yeah,
so
approximately where it is, then no problem. But once we know the day, then becomes easier.
Right. So we don't need to know the year, but
everyone should know their soul chart. Everyone should, I think.
Very interesting.
Because they start living out of, they will have no fear in their life. They'll start dealing with everything, every issue with a very positive manner. Like we'll go, we have a very, very positive approach to every problem of yours, and because you have such a positive approach that those problems resolve so fast and so easily. You won't come to know, because you won't see them as a problem.
Right, right. I think it also puts into perspective that, like if you're talking of 4 years, 5 years, something, that's nothing in our whole soul journey.
Yeah.
We tend to look at life in a very, very contained manner, in a very linear manner.
It's all on a very grand scale. No, not constrain ourselves, keep us physical. No, we are more than that. We are divine beings having a physical existence, but we are divine beings,
Right, right. No, it's very interesting because, to actually understand where we are coming from and where we are heading towards, and then you see that this life is nothing but speck. Like,
Yeah.
even if, like, you want to achieve something nahi hua hai, but then if you've moved forward, that is enough because you have more lives
Yeah.
coming up.
But then you also come to know your soul purpose. So you're not confused. You're not running here and there. Ki, kya ho raha hai, kyun karu, kya karu. You come to know your soul purpose. I have come here with this lesson. Let me concentrate on this lesson. And not go a little cuckoo, Isne ye kaha, usne wo kaha, After I did my soul chart, I think, like, I mean, even if any astrologer comes in my life, like, I will hear it for fun. I say, no. I've gone through all this. I know where I am. I know where I stand. I know what I'm doing. So thank you, but I don't live out of fear anymore. And it makes life very, very beautiful. Really joyful. Really joyful.
Kind of cut all the drama around you.
Cut the drama, yes, cut the drama. And you not only cut the drama for yourself, you cut the drama for the other person too. Because when the other person comes in your aura, they become so happy, like, hey man, what are you doing? Why things to affect you? I think they're not supposed to affect me, and I don't look at them as issues. So what happens, you're not only empowering yourself, the persons come to you with little dukhi atma, you make them sukhi also. Like, no way, why am I so low? Look at her, like, no, she's taking life so positively. Why can't I do it? So not only you empowering yourself, you're empowering the other person too, So it becomes very nice. But we are here to help each other, not put someone down. When you start looking at yourself as soul, and she's also me, I'm also her, So when you start seeing things in that way, life becomes very easy.
That's so beautiful. So beautiful. So, does anybody have any questions to ask Rakshha regarding soul reading, soul astrology?
Ask as many you want. Ask.
I think people are still digesting the information that you gave because it's
soul astrology. What is soul astrology? So I'll tell you, the monad. When you do the monad ray, this is 6 rays that we talk about. The monad ray is unchanging divine spark, your God's expression within you, which is eternal and unchanging. No matter how many incarnations you take, the monad ray never changes. And the soul ray we're talking about is your present birth, the reincarnating you, this phase of incarnation. So then you find out what is my this phase of incarnation. So that will tell you, which ray you fall on, will tell you. The personality ray, you get to learn and understand how to clear lack of resolution. And then you come to astral ray, it gives you an indication of a higher spiritual work, whereas mental ray is your thought process. So when you go into each and every ray and we find out which ray we fall upon, then we come to know what is my soul purpose, what is my thought process. My thought process is supposed to be divine love and wisdom, or ceremonial order, whatever. Then you come, am I doing that or not? Am I doing it positively or not? And then so this is it. So it tells you what those 6 rays are, what do those 6 rays mean, and which category of those rays you fall upon, or am I doing it right? Am I doing it right? And you come to know, okay, this is my soul purpose, And now how do I work through it,
Yeah, nice. So Alifia, I'll message you the course details and how much is it and what it is, the duration and everything. So that's something I'll message you on WhatsApp. Because it's something we're planning end of March. So it's spread over 3 days. So,
all right.
Cool. So if anybody else is interested in getting a soul chart reading done for themselves, or they want to take part in the course, do ping us and we will plan something around that.
Yeah, we give the whole, I'll send you the whole course material. It's a big book like this, and once you start doing it gives you a chart. So you come to know, where you fall, the physical ray, where does the physical ray fall? Like, so this is my 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 6, what am I? Am I ray 2? Am I ray 3? Am I ray 4? And what it all means. So you get the whole book, you get the whole chart. You can make your whole chart by yourself, and the book helps you. I mean, the workshop, you get everything. Like, you know nothing about soul astrology. You are like a lame person, know nothing, and it will teach you everything. It's not like you need to know something. अरे क्या मेरे को तो ये नहीं आता. तुमको कुछ भी नहीं आना चाहिए और सब कुछ सीख लोगे.
Rakshha will teach everything to everybody who comes for her course.
Of course. I want to empower everybody, because I think everybody should know soul astrology. I mean, it's their own reading. They come to know. They don't need to run to any astrologer after this. हमको सब पता है भैया क्या हो रहा है और क्या होने वाला है.
Yeah, I think it's an important, it's a nice skill to have to do for yourselves and people who come. And if you're a healer, it's a nice thing to put in your basket of therapies to offer to other people.
Yeah.
So, because this is something I know, I was talking to another healer and she was mentioning that, this is something interesting. She may not want to do as separately as soul astrology, but add bits and parts of it in her current healing.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Hura, I message you also regarding the course details. So,
Hi,
if
Hura.
nobody has,
Lovely to see you.
has any questions, it's been, we have been talking for 45 minutes. So, yeah. Nice. So, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rakshha,
for inviting me. Thank you so much.
That was such brilliant information.
Thank you.